Guys, Jurassic here. Today we're playing Sea of Thieves Adventure 7. Want to check out what's happening at Plunder Valley? Head over to any outpost and speak to Larina to start this adventure.
That's great. It's not much, but here's everything we bilge rats have learned so far. I hope you find some excitement out there.
Strange sighting. Something weird is happening at Plunder Valley. If you're hunting for a new adventure, why not find out who's behind it? Head over to Plunder Valley, and on the east side there's going to be a little buoy inside of the water. You're going to notice 3 different AI people on the beach. There's going to be Belle from the previous adventures and 2 mermen wearing ancient masks. You are going to need your entire crew to start this adventure. There's going to be a 2-part speech. Basically, she's going to be, "Hey, what's up?" Then you got to speak to her again in order to actually fully start it.
You're here.
Belle, it's been a while.
Let's get going. We meet again. I should have known my work here would draw Larina's attention sooner or later. Still, perhaps it's fortunate you arrived. My associates and I are on a particularly dangerous quest. If you decide you wish to help, come and speak with me once more.
Now, just so you guys are aware,
It's good to see you.
you don't have any protection while you're speaking to her, so skeletons, ghosts, all sorts of stuff can pop up while you're trying to speak.
We have work to do. Excellent. The value
Especially
of
watch
the
out for
treasures
powder
I seek
cakes.
cannot be underestimated. They may well be our last hope to save the Sea of Thieves. 3 relics of the past. The eyes, the teeth, and the voice of the ancients. Once they were kept safely in sanctuaries filled with hidden knowledge, until they were claimed by the sirens as part of their sunken kingdom. You must enter these shrines and recover the treasures. The sirens will jealously guard their prize, but you need not fight alone. When you enter a shrine, seek out the ancient priest. His followers will do all they can to help you recover the relics. We must move quickly, but when you succeed, return to me here. There is much more for you to learn.
So in this adventure, you can pick and choose whichever path that you want, but she's going to give you a piece of paper. There's going to be Eye from the Shrine of the Ancient Tears, Drains from the Shrine of Ocean's Fortune, a Voice from Shrine of the Tribute. So if you head over to your ship and look at the map, you notice southeast, there's going to be the blue shrines. Ancient Tears is going to be the one over furthest away from us. We'll get the tribute closest to us, and a little bit northwest, you'll find Ocean's Fortune. We're going to start with Shrine of Tears. So once you get there, there's going to be a blue and green light. Basically, you just swim all the way down. We're going to fast forward through some of the swimming just so you guys can see all the different paths. This one's probably going to be the most complicated one with the most hidden puzzles in order to actually answer. Each of the shrine has their own different steps in order to actually finish them, though. So each one's going to be own and unique. So the Tears is going to have trapdoors on the ground, and that's basically going to be opening up hidden doors. You're going to have to be lighting some braziers on, and you're also going to have to be turning some levers down in order to actually open up doors that you need to go through. There is going to be some fighting at the very end of this cave, so this trident might come in handy if you decide to bring it along with you the entire time, or you can just drop it down. As soon as you start falling down here, though, follow the right path. You don't want to accidentally kill yourself, and you'll notice the priest is going to be right here, just sort of waiting for us to speak to him. Take Belle's words and study them well. The path is long and winding. Each of the priests don't really say too much. He's going to tell us to go to the Turtle Hall. We are going to have to go through a few trapdoors in order to do that. So to activate turtles... Once we get inside this area, you'll notice that this door needs to be open. There's going to be 2 different fire pits that have to be turned on. So follow around the staircases here and step on all the trap platforms. That's going to open up a door over on the red coral side directly across from the door we need to go through. This is going to allow us to light 4 different braziers on fire, and that's going to light one of the torches above the door on. So basically just come over here, pull your lantern out, and make sure you raise it to light the fire. Once again, there's 4 of these. We didn't find any treasure inside this room, just so you guys are aware. So the top half is relatively empty. The bottom half does have plenty of treasure, though, so there's going to be mermaids along the walls. You can basically give the treasure to them, and they'll take it all the way up to your ship for you for free, which is a super nice feature. So that's going to light one of the fire pits down here. Now, the other half is actually going to need us to light the braziers along the pathway. So you notice there's some wood along the staircases. Just follow the staircases around. There's going to be 4 different fire pits. Run over to each one, light it, do the same thing we did before, and as soon as you're done, you're good to go. So that'll open up the door. If you step on a trap, it'll accidentally open up the door up top, but don't worry about that. That's going to open up this door down here. Now, the butterfly is going to be what we need to solve in order to get to the turtle. Don't worry about the eagle. So to do that, there's going to be some traps on the ground and stuff like that. But from the main shrine room, if you take a right, that's going to get you through a majority of the butterfly stuff. You notice there's some torches along the way, so we'll light that up. Each of the traps have a cubby hole room on the sides of the walls here. Sometimes it's treasure, sometimes not. So you want to just walk through this little corridor here, and we got this in fast forward just so you guys can see everything. But sometimes it's looting them, sometimes not. There is going to be a torch and a butterfly that needs to be lifted down over in the blue coral area. There's going to be one on this side and one on the other side of the wall. So from this one, you want to push this guy down and take a left. There's going to be another one right next to this other fire pit. So that'll be 2 of the 3 that we need. So the last one's going to be right next to the end of the butterfly wall. Just keep on following this little corridor here. You'll notice the little blue coral, and the lever is going to be right there on the right side. Butterflies on the ground to signify this is the door. There might be a skeleton or 2 inside of here. And now we can start working towards the turtle. So just like before, the turtle needs 3 different levers pushed in the downward direction. So from the red coral, there is going to be a lever directly behind us. So you'll notice you want to flip this guy down, and you're good to go. The rest of it's actually going to be solved next to the main treasure room doors. So that's actually relatively nice of them. We're going to light these torches just in case we need to see a little bit later on. Notice the turtle's on the ground, but from the first lever, go through the red coral area. There's a couple holes, but there is going to be a turtle shrine right there. Flip that lever down, and directly behind us is going to be our last lever. It's going to be sort of hidden behind a little bit of a coral bridge. So just watch your step. There isn't actually anything that kills you inside of these shrines, so that's pretty cool. It's going to open up the last cubby hole, and if you're not holding out your torch, you might accidentally miss it. But on the far left side is going to be the last turtle icon. Push this lever down. This is going to spawn in the eyes that we need for our priest. So the door takes a second to react, but it eventually does go down. Jump inside the treasure room, and as soon as you do that, it's going to start spawning the enemies. Now, from the treasure room, take a left outside of the red coral area to get back across where we originally came from. This will take you back through the butterfly area, and then the butterfly area, you just take a right to get fully out of here. So that's like the main shrine room area, and boom, here's the waterfall. There is going to be quite a few enemies spawning in. If you can deliver your treasure to any of the priests inside of this adventure, everything will automatically die and despawn. So if you're by yourself, try to run past them. If not, wait for your teammates to get over here. There's going to be some chests behind you if you need to get some food, but try your best in order to get all the way through the corridors. Grab your one important item and take it up to the priest. There is going to be some AI that sort of come along and give you some help, because this is going to be a continually spawn until you eventually deliver your treasure. We'll pick it back up so we can sneak past all of the crazy dudes around here. It doesn't matter if you die, because you will spawn back inside of the shrine, pretty close to where you were. But head over to the priest, deliver it, the music will stop. You might still get hit for like a couple seconds, so just keep that in mind. Don't freak out too much. You'll notice we're going to get hit right here. There's going to be a dude behind us. We jump over here, swap our weapons, we're ready to kill him, and you'll notice that he's already dead. Music goes away. Now we're done with that. So now heading over to the Shrine of Tribute. This is the blue and green light that we were talking about from the previous area. Just like before, you want to try to get your ship close to the light as possible, because the mermaids pop up right next to the light in order to deliver your loot. So try to anchor turn in the correct direction so your ship is faced relatively close to it to get the loot easier for you. This one doesn't actually have a sunken ship, however, though. There's going to be like a Aztec Mayan sort of statue at the very bottom of the ocean, and directly across from that is going to be like a staircase down, but you have to push a lever down in order to open this up. This one doesn't have any trap platforms or anything that you got to do like that, so it's going to be a little bit easier to solve. However, it is going to be completely underwater. There's going to be some corals with bubbles that give you oxygen. Basically, all you have to do is swim above that, and you'll start seeing your oxygen and like a little green outline on your screen start filling up, just so you guys are aware. So you want to swim all the way down here. That's going to be the statue that I was talking about, but you want to look for this little staircase here. There's going to be 2 different levers, one on each side of this thing. As soon as you push that down, it's going to start opening up. You swim inside, and once you go directly down, you'll notice the bubbles that I was talking about. Now, in this one, we're going to have to pay special attention to 3 symbols. That's going to be our main answer key to this shrine, which is going to be found right here. So the chain has to be all the way down, coral in the middle, pearl all the way up. There's going to be 3 different mermaids that have an item in their hand. You have to match that symbol with the mermaid in order to finish this. These shrines, once again, have been in the game for quite a while, so we're sort of speeding through some of the stuff, but I'm still trying to explain it if you haven't done it before. Give it a second, another sheet of paper will pop up. These guys aren't very helpful. Basically, it's just like, solve this thing and you'll be able to get the voices. So there is going to be the one with the chain found inside of the treasure room. Stab him twice in order to have his hand go all the way down to get that complete. And as soon as you do that, head back inside of the water. Now, inside the treasure room, there's going to be some red coral over here on the back left side. You want to swim up this little pathway here. There's going to be some green lighting and stuff, so it's pretty easy to tell if you're in the right area or not. Just follow this path all the way up, and this is going to take you to the coral. You'll notice he's got a coral in his hand. His arm is automatically in the down position, so we need to have him in the middle to match the symbol on the painting that we found earlier. So now he's good to go, and we will find the last one. So from the treasure room, there's going to be one of the mermaids that has the conch shell that blows. That's going to be to solve the answer key. But from him, take a left, follow like the little bluish light hues, and just keep on swimming this way. You'll eventually find like a chest over on the far left side, and you want to go to the right, straight across from that guy, and take a right again as soon as you get to one of the mermaids that you can deliver your treasure to. In this area, you'll find the pearl. You want to have his hand faced all the way up in order to fully solve this puzzle. Now we're ready to stab the mermaid with a conch shell. You can shoot it as well, and that's going to activate the water inside of the area, and that'll fill up the rooms so we can get to the next zone. This one, I don't know if it was bugged or if it's going to be like this for everybody, just so you guys are aware. We do still finish this, however, we didn't really run into any enemies at all compared to the first cave, and it's sort of different compared to the other 2. So I'm not sure if ours was just a little bit messed up or what happened. Inside the room here, there's going to be some red coral that we have to go through, though. Once you swim over to the red coral, you're going to notice a pathway. Once again, another mermaid that you can deliver treasure to. And the priest is going to be waiting up top of here. He's just going to be hanging out. So if you go directly straight, you'll notice a trapdoor that you can step on, and that's going to move this big old statue in the middle all the way across, showing a hidden door below. We sort of ran around on the other side. We didn't see anything else, so it's only one trapdoor that moves this big dude. And there is going to be a water pit below. So you want to hop in the water here. You notice the statue is actually moved back some. There's going to be a little cubby hole. And this is where it gets sort of weird. I don't know if ours is broken, but you'll notice there's a couple mermaids in here, but they swim directly away from me. Like whenever I got close, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. They're actually going to go over there and like defend the main treasure. But the closer I got to the treasure, they were still completely swimming away from me. There is going to be some very ancient tribute chests and things like that that you want to make sure that you grab. But the main thing is going to be our chest in the middle. There is going to be mermaid diaries in each of these different shrines. All it does is get you a title though, so we didn't really go over that in this video. Now we got the voice box, we can deliver it to the priest. The last area had a bunch of enemies spawning in to kill us, which is why we were in a rush to deliver it. This shrine, like I said, I'm not entirely sure if there's supposed to be like a ton of mermaids spawning in. Your experience might be a little bit different, but we just swam all the way up and delivered it, and that was it. And that is it for the Shrine of Tribute. Last but not least is Ocean's Fortune. This one's going to be a little bit more complicated. This one is going to have a bunch of pulleys, mast, everything like that that you're going to have to solve in order to fully answer the riddle. So you're going to want to go to the sunken shipwreck. This one sort of is like the first one where there's going to be a whole bunch of hidden pathways. Now there are going to be some doors that we're able to open up, and that activates a shortcut, sort of like a Elder Scrolls game, for example. So you can get to a previous area that was originally impossible to do. But you'll notice there's going to be some coral over here. If you walk up the far left side, turn around, There's going to be a ladder that takes you up to the middle area, and it also delivers you directly to the priest, which is where we're going to have to start. So let's go up the ladder, speak to him real quick. Basically, he's going to do the same thing as last time. Be like, hey, Belle sent you. Good luck.
I shall speak.
Speak to him. He gives you another sheet of paper. You'll notice this door here is locked with a little lever right there on the wall. We are going to need to open that up in a second. So there's going to be a pulley here. You'll notice a elevator platform is directly in the middle. We're going to have to move this guy twice in this tail. We're going to start with it all the way on the left side before we open up that trap door, and then we'll be able to move it all the way up to the right to solve later on areas. So this capstan here needs to open up. Now this part I did cut a little bit just so I can show you guys before if you are doing it solo. But as soon as you raise the capstan, there's going to be a doorway to the left that you want to go through to hit that lever. So from the capstan, just literally take a left and you'll be able to pull down that pulley. That opens up the green door and you're good to go. But now that we're caught back up, jump on the platforms, go all the way across, go up the ladder here. This is going to take you to another pulley on the wall. The room glows a whole bunch, but there's not actually treasure or anything I found inside this room. You can't actually interact with the mermaids or anything like that. So grab the pulley, lower the mast all the way down, and this is where we were referring to that green door before. Now that that door is going to be open, we'll be able to use that as a shortcut. You notice the mermaids, you can stab them. Nothing actually does anything. Just so you guys know in case you were curious. But we're going to head all the way back down. Now, you want to keep everything how you had it, that way you can get back. There's going to be a small shortcut that you're able to take. This will take you directly back to the green door that's now going to be open. Now, this is essential in order to actually solve this next step. You'll notice that we can't jump anywhere else. That's because we're going to have to get the elevator platform from the bottom side all the way to the top side in order to advance. So now that we're all the way back down here, let's go and hit the pulley. Move this guy all the way back up top, and then our people will be able to go from the mast over to the next mast and be able to make it. I found it's easiest to walk across that instead of actually jumping, just so you guys are aware. However, if you fall, you are going to have a little bit of a long swim back up here. But thankfully, it's not too crazy, and it won't actually kill you if you do fall off. All right, so now that we're on the mast, there's going to be the elevator platform that we moved. Just walk onto this dude here, and walk all the way over into the next area here. There's no actual shortcuts that you can open up for your teammates anymore, besides the green door. There is going to be some skeletons that pop up, so everyone is going to have to be super careful across the mast if you are working as a group, because your entire team does need to get here to give you some backup, because this one has a whole bunch of enemies spawning in, just like the first one, which is why I'm not entirely sure if the second one might have glitched out, or what was wrong with it. But there's going to be a wooden pathway over here to the right, and once again, another capstan. This one's going to be a little bit more automated, though. Thought I heard a skeleton, but I didn't see anything. So as soon as you lower the capstan, hop on this little wooden platform here. There is going to be some guys directly across from us, but for some reason they weren't actually hitting me, so I was just sort of watching them. You do want to hop over to the next platform as soon as it gets over here, though. This is essential, or else you're going to have to write this twice. If you're by yourself, this actually solves the part above us, which you'll see in a second. But if you're in a group, you are going to have to wait for it to be fully lowered back down in order for it to work. So if you shoot the little orbs, it does shock both of them. Once it gets pretty close to the wooden platform, you're able to jump across, and then you can stab them from behind if you want to. So we'll go ahead and do that. That way our teammates can get over here. And that'll free up a little bit of area for them. And now all you got to do is follow the pathway back up. That'll take you over to these little coral areas. And once again, the little mast you'll notice is going to be moving. There is a treasure chest over there to the right if we want it. But follow the mast all the way over to this other side here. They are moving stuff and things around on us. That's why I'm trying to show you as we progress, just so you guys are aware what happens if it does move while we're moving. This mast over here is going to go in the correct position. If you were by yourself, it would already be in the right zone. You can just walk directly across. That takes you over to the ladder. Then you're able to go up to the very top part, and you've basically solved this entire adventure already. All right, so now that we got up the ladder, just follow the pathway up. You'll notice some wooden staircases here, and the main treasure is going to be found on that little red coral shrine. There is going to be things continually spawning in, but we do want to make sure that we're grabbing up the main dreams of the ancients. That's going to activate the ancient priest, and it's going to activate most of the enemies inside the room here. Hop up on the red corals. That'll sort of get you through the way, and you'll notice this little rail here to the far left side we're going to try to sneak past here. There's no point finding them since they're going to spawn in the whole time, and there's so many big ones. If you accidentally bump your head on that coral, though, it is going to respawn you, just so you know. So take the ladder all the way down. Now this part is where you're going to have to actually take it a little bit slower, and you're definitely going to want to find some barrels along the way to top up your health if you're a little bit low. We took a little bit of damage there out of nowhere. So we're going to have to get all the way across the mast. The priest is going to be on a lower level from us. Thankfully, there's some barrels over here. If you follow this path exactly, you'll actually survive without taking in too much damage, so we don't have to worry about it too much. Get about 3/4 of your health back, and just continually follow the mast here over across the other side here. Every time we do this, we're going to be getting a little bit closer. Now, thankfully, the priest is going to be found roughly inside this area, and the dog was already waiting for us. So the plan here is going to be just to sort of drop off of this platform here onto the mast. We'll be able to get to the elevator platform, head over to the other mast, and there's going to be like a little coral shell right above the priest, and that's going to be the only way I found to actually get there. I didn't take any damage doing this, but I tried looking around to see if maybe there was another way for someone else. But this is the best way for me. So you'll notice on the left here, we're just going to sort of hop on the rock, deliver it down, give it to the ancient priest, the music goes away, and you have completed all of the shrines inside of this adventure. Collect your loot and head back over to Plunder Valley to start the rest of this. Alright, Belle, we did it! Belle, we did it! We found all the treasure!
There's no time to waste. Incredible. To see the treasures recovered at last. All that remains is to reunite them. And I have been preparing the island for that moment. When you are ready, we will begin the ritual. Be sure that you're prepared. We will certainly attract some unwanted
Basically, this is going to have a big old light on top of the island. Have your whole crew here. Go ahead and start it up.
Very well. But before we begin, you deserve to learn what is at stake. I have allies in the Sea of the Damned. They have warned me that a time of resurrection is nearing. The servant's recent actions all point to one calamitous conclusion. He seeks the rebirth of Captain Flameheart. That must be prevented, for all our sakes. I have agreed to free the soul of their great warrior, a powerful captive, and one of the Ancients' oldest legends. If we succeed, they will fight at our side. To begin with, I must unify the fragments.
This seems like a horrible plan.
Hear me, ancient eyes, beholder of distant shores. Hear me, ancient dreams drawn from ceaseless slumber. Hear me, ancient voice, and speak your wisdom once again. Hear my call and awake! The ritual is beginning. Climb to the island peak and hurry. The priest
Alright,
is
so
waiting.
basically follow the beach pathway all the way up to the very top of the island. You notice a gigantic green light in the sky, so it's not like you can actually be hidden while you're doing this adventure. We're going to fast forward through some of the walking because it does take a little bit if you go along the beach path, or you can try to cheat and jump up the rocks in order to get there a little bit quicker. But at this point, there is going to be a whole bunch of basically ghosts that you're going to have to be fighting in order to kill all of them. For the most part, this one's actually relatively simple, and it's going to be nearing the end, so you don't have to do too much past this point anyways. So just run all the way along the side here, or you can go up the rocks a little bit behind. This is going to be the easiest pathway to follow, though. There's going to be one boss that spawns in, and for us, we had a Ashen Guardian spawn in. He's not actually part of this adventure. He just sort of photobombed it, so we do have to fight him and the main ghost as well. Basically, he is going to be attempting to put the skulls back together, and we're just going to have to go through several different ways of these little ghosts. They're relatively simple. There's nothing really too crazy that you have to fight. I think they lowered the health for these because they don't necessarily take as much damage as the Pirate's Life stuff. So stab around a few waves, and you'll notice the main captain of them start spawning in, and that's who you're going to have to be fighting for the most part. These guys all basically have swords. Not too many of them have any guns or anything. Now, the main captain, he is going to have a shotgun. He does a lot more damage than them, so be super careful of him. However, the rest of the ghosts, basically, you do 1 or 2 hits and you'll wipe them out. So if you are with the team, try to pick them up. However, with so much ghost and everything going on, you might accidentally lose a teammate or two. Eventually, the priest bodyguards disappear because they decide to no longer want to help you, and you're on your own. You're going to be fighting the ghosts. This is wave 3 is what I'm calling it. They don't actually have like a counter or anything or a audio cue, but you'll notice that there's going to be like a pause in ghost spawning in, and that's sort of how you can determine which wave that you're on. Wave 4, the school starts giving a little bit of a shock, and you'll notice the Soul Flame Captain appear. This is the one with the shotgun. Walk back left and forth as best you can to try not to get shot, because he will do massive damage to you. There's going to be a couple baby ghosts along the way. You want to make sure that you kill these guys. These guys aren't really that strong, so you can pretty much just run around and just stab them with the sword the whole time. There's not really an ammo box up here, though. If you happen to have cooked meat, that is going to be the best way to survive. Let's see if we can focus on the main captain. Is going to be the guy that we have to take out before the rest of them to stop spawning. Sort of like before, whenever you deliver the treasure to the priest, this guy is going to be who continually spawns stuff. So be sure to watch your health, eat plenty of food, but you should be good. It's not like if you die, it's going to completely fail this adventure. You'll have time to run back up the island in order to fully finish it. There is going to be some skeletons start spawning in as well. I'm not sure that was part of this adventure, just part of the island. It's sort of just all blended together, so we were killing everybody that we saw. Going to be a couple more ghosts around here. Watch out for the lightning. Let's see here. So we got all that wiped out. We got a couple more ghosts spawning in from behind. And he is just basically going to be doing his deal the whole time. He doesn't actually turn around and help you any. I don't think he can die. The ghosts do get kind of near him, but from what I've seen, they don't actually target him at all. It's just mostly you. We're still going to be stabbing this dude. Soul Flame Captain is definitely going to be a little bit of a tank. You want to be sure to get all the skeletons and everything else wiped out. He will eventually do that and disappear. We do have this one last Ashen Guardian that we got to deal with. I don't think this is part of the adventure. He just sort of popped up. We'll get this dude killed real quick, and then speak to the priest to fully finish the tale. What happened to the great warrior?
Much has changed. Our task continues. Our great warrior is returned to us at last. His essence carried safely across the veil to our sea of tribute. Perhaps your paths may one day cross. Until then, know this. You have battled our greatest enemies with courage and skill. We see now that this realm, the sea we once called home, has rightly called to you as it did to us. It must be protected. Upon our oath, when the time is right, we will return.
So it didn't actually pop up on my screen, but it did pop up on theirs. At this point, your adventure is complete, and you can look inside of there. That's going to get you these sales. But that's going to be it for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.